Welcome to Chatterbox Podcast. I'm John.
And I'm Jessica. You're ready for a deep dive today.
Sounds good.
Right. We're diving into a pretty big moment in film, the 75th Berlin International Film Festival.
A huge one.
Yeah, it just wrapped up, actually.
Recently, yeah.
Ran from February 13th to the 23rd,
2025. Big year.
And, you know, your sources have been all over this.
Absolutely.
They got all the highlights, the big winners, all that.
Especially with the new director, you know.
Yeah, Trisha Tuttle.
Steering the ship.
Right, and there seems to be this kind of theme this year
Philly.
of really pushing the boundaries with the narratives and, you know, finding these unique stories from all over the world.
Global perspectives.
Yeah, so what we're going to do today is try to pull out the most interesting and insightful stuff from all of this.
The good stuff.
Yeah, so you get a real sense of, you know,
what mattered.
What this festival was all about.
Not just, you know, who won what, but like what it says about the state of cinema.
Exactly.
What stories are being told on a global stage.
Yeah. Yeah, and like what it tells us about, you know, the future of film.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's just jump right in.
Yeah, let's do it.
Golden Bear for Best Film, the top prize.
The big one.
Went to Dreams, Sex Love.
Catchy title.
Right?
Yeah.
Norwegian director Dag Johan Hagerud.
Now, this is interesting because this film actually concludes a trilogy.
Oh, wow.
He's been working on all about relationships.
Okay, so this is like the final chapter.
This is the final chapter, explorations of romantic relationships.
Interesting.
What's really fascinating about this one is the premise, the central premise.
Yeah.
A 17-year-old girl who develops feelings for her teacher.
Okay, so that's already like, you know,
a delicate subject.
Yeah, you know, kind of controversial.
Definitely. It's interesting to see that winning the Golden Bear.
Right.
Because it suggests maybe a growing openness at these big festivals.
Okay.
To explore these nuanced, you know, personal experiences.
Right.
Maybe moving away from just pure spectacle.
Oh, that's a really interesting point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those big blockbusters.
Yeah, like maybe there's a shift happening.
Yeah, maybe a shift to something a bit more, you know.
Yeah, human.
Human,
Right.
And real.
So the sources they highlight that the film goes into.
Yeah.
You know, the nuances of unrequited love.
Which we've all experienced.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Some way or another.
You know, it's like a universal thing.
It's a universal theme.
But then you add this extra layer of the student-teacher
dynamic.
Yeah.
It gets complicated.
It really does. It adds this whole other
ethical dimension.
Yeah. And then it also explores how writing can be therapeutic.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So like journaling.
Yeah, I mean, when you hear that setup, you think,
yeah,
wow, how did they approach this?
How do you do that responsibly as a filmmaker?
What kind of cinematic language did they use?
Right. What are the choices they made?
Yeah, to explore these like
inner emotions.
Inner lives.
Yeah.
So it makes you think, how do you navigate those narratives responsibly, but also genuinely?
Yeah.
And I guess the Golden Bear suggests.
I mean, yeah, they must have done something right.
They struck a balance.
Yeah.
A powerful balance.
Okay, let's move on to another big one.
Okay.
The Silver Bear Grand Jury Prize.
Another big award.
This went to The Blue Trail, in Portuguese of Último Azul.
From the Brazilian filmmaker, Gabriel Mascaro.
Yeah, he's an interesting one.
And the sources all talk about how visually stunning this film is.
Yeah, he has a very distinctive style.
Okay.
Blending the sensual with socio-political commentary.
It's kind of his thing?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
And The Blue Trail seems to continue that intertwining environmental themes with these personal journeys.
Okay, so he's taking that style and applying it to this.
A new content.
Yeah, to like a very relevant topic.
And it's interesting because it shows how visual storytelling can really enhance those discussions about the environment.
Like sometimes seeing something can be so much more powerful than just hearing about it.
On an article or a podcast even.
So I'm curious, what stood out to you about this blend?
Right, this blend of the personal and the political.
In Mascaro's work.
Well, if we look at the bigger picture, we're seeing more and more filmmakers using those intimate stories to examine these huge societal concerns.
Right, so it's not just like a big, you know.
Exactly, it's grounded in the personal.
It's through the eyes of like an individual.
It's relatable.
Yeah.
And the environment especially is becoming like a really prominent theme across all genres.
So it's not just documentaries anymore.
It's everywhere.
Okay, let's talk about the actors.
The performances.
Yeah. Best Leading Performance went to Rose Byrne.
Amazing actress.
For her role in If I Had Legs, I'd Kick.
Very title.
And the sources say that her portrayal of a woman navigating some really tough stuff, personal and physical challenges, it really resonated with people.
That word resonated.
Yeah.
It's key.
Like, it wasn't just a good performance. It was like...
It touched something deeper.
Yeah, authentic.
Yeah.
Authentic. What do you think makes a performance so impactful?
Right. Especially when they're portraying these hardships.
Yeah, like what are those qualities?
I think it's vulnerability.
Yeah.
But also that inner strength.
That shines through.
Yeah, that kind of resilience.
It's that, that makes you really feel something.
Exactly. You feel that struggle.
Okay. And on the supporting actor side, Andrew Scott won for his role in Richard Linklater's Blue Moon.
Interesting.
And the sources talk about how his performance added so much depth to the film's exploration of love and existentialism.
Which are huge themes.
Yeah, like really big ideas.
Yeah. And those supporting performances are so crucial.
Yeah.
They provide that context. They can contrast with the main characters.
Yeah, and sometimes it's like those little moments.
Exactly.
Yeah, that stay with you.
These subtle interactions.
Right, it's like they round out the story.
Right, they make the world feel richer.
Yeah, it makes you think how a well-crafted supporting role can just elevate the whole thing.
Yeah, it's not just about the leads.
Right.
Everyone's contributing to the overall message.
Absolutely. Okay, so for Best Director, the Silver Bear went to Hu Meng for Living the Land.
A Chinese filmmaker.
Yeah, and the Chinese title is Shengji Di.
Oh, wow.
And it's described as this really poignant look at the clash between tradition and modernity in rural China.
This is something we see a lot in cinema now.
Yeah.
This tension between tradition and modernity.
Yeah, because it's happening all over the world.
It is. It's a global phenomenon.
Yeah, and filmmakers are exploring. You know what that does to people.
Human cost.
Yeah.
The cultural shifts.
It's a really rich area to explore.
It is. Yeah.
So how do you think filmmakers capture that?
Right.
These delicate societal transitions on screen.
Well, I think it's about the visual language.
Okay.
The choices they make.
Yeah.
Maybe contrasting imagery.
So like old versus new.
Yeah, old buildings next to new developments.
Yeah. Right.
Or traditional clothing with modern attire.
Okay, I see.
Or even the soundscape.
Oh, yeah.
The sounds of nature versus the sounds of industry.
That's so powerful.
Yeah.
And then the narratives, too.
Yeah, focusing on characters who are living through those changes.
So you're seeing it through their eyes.
Exactly.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay, hit me.
Best Screenplay went to Radu Jude.
A Romanian director.
For his film, Continental 25.
Okay.
This film was shot in 10 days.
Wow.
Using an iPhone.
An iPhone?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And it's also a social critique.
So they're making a statement.
Yeah.
With an iPhone.
So it's like he's found this really potent way to blend like this almost guerrilla filmmaking. Yeah.
DIY filmmaking.
With this really meaningful content.
So it makes you think.
Yeah.
Can limitations actually lead to more innovation?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Because you don't have all the fancy equipment.
You have to be resourceful.
Yeah, you have to think outside the box.
Yeah.
And maybe that leads to something...
more direct.
Yeah, more raw.
Maybe even more urgent in its message.
It's like that immediacy of shooting on a phone adds to the commentary.
It could be really interesting to see how that plays out.
I mean, what kind of social critique are we talking about here?
Well, the sources mention a few possibilities.
Okay.
Maybe it's a satire of how quickly culture gets commercialized.
Okay.
Everything becomes a product.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's about digital surveillance.
Oh, yeah.
How we're constantly being watched.
Yeah, and that lo-fi aesthetic really adds to that unease.
It makes it feel more real.
More like, Big Brother is watching. It's so interesting because it really challenges that idea.
Yeah.
That you need a huge budget.
All the fancy gear.
Yeah, to make something impactful.
Yeah.
And I wonder how those limitations, the speed of filming, the look of the iPhone camera, actually made the story stronger.
Right.
Because they had to work within those constraints.
It forces a certain kind of efficiency.
Yeah.
And it can make it feel more real, more grounded.
Okay, so we also got a glimpse of some other films that were in competition, to get a broader sense of what the festival was showcasing.
A wider lens.
Yeah, so there was Vivian Kuo's film, Girls on Wire.
And the Chinese title is Sheng Fei de Nuhe,
It's a story about young women in China.
Okay.
And their struggle for freedom.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of constraints are they facing?
Well, China's changing so rapidly.
Yeah.
So there's often this clash between individual aspirations and societal expectations.
Yeah.
So maybe it's about limitations on their personal expression, censorship maybe, or pressure to conform to traditional roles.
So it's like that tension between the individual and society.
Yeah.
And then there was Hot Milk.
Okay.
A UK-Greece co-production from Rebecca Lenkovich, exploring the mother-daughter relationship.
Always a good subject for drama.
Set in the Mediterranean.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, did that setting play a big role?
Yeah.
In this?
Well, the Mediterranean often evokes that sense of beauty, but also intensity.
Yeah.
Like the heat, the sun.
Yeah.
And that can mirror those complex family relationships.
Oh, I see.
And then the cultural nuances of the region might also play a part.
So it's like that whole atmosphere.
Yeah, the setting becomes a character.
Lucille Hadjialilovich had a film called The Ice Tower. Which is La Tour de Glace in French. And she's known for her surreal storytelling.
Yeah.
And these really haunting visuals.
Yeah, very atmospheric.
Yeah. She's kind of like, if you like David Lynch.
Oh, yeah.
You might like her stuff.
Yeah, those unsettling, dreamlike vibes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she's not afraid to create a sense of unease.
Yeah, and it's more about like mood and symbolism than a traditional plot.
Yeah, it's more about the feeling.
And last but not least, from the competition lineup, we've got Helene Catet and Bruno Forzani.
A duo.
Yeah, with their film Reflection in a Dead Diamond.
Oh, wow.
Which in French is Reflet dans un diamant mort.
Another French title.
And this one is all about experimental narrative.
Okay.
And just being stylistically bold.
Yeah, pushing those boundaries.
Yeah, and this really shows that the Berlinale is all about showcasing films that challenge conventions.
Yeah, they're not afraid to experiment.
Yeah, and festivals like this are so important.
They are.
For supporting those avant-garde filmmakers.
Yeah, they give them a platform.
Yeah, because otherwise they might not get seen.
Exactly.
Okay, shifting gears a bit.
Okay.
Let's talk about documentaries.
Yeah.
This year's documentary award went to Holding Layat by Brandon Kramer. And this film is a gripping account kidnapping of Layat Beinin.
Wow.
So talking about powerful storytelling, documentaries have this unique ability to connect us to real events.
And real people in a way that fiction can't always do.
And when they describe it as gripping, it means that the filmmaker has really crafted this narrative that keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Engaged.
Yeah, but you're also dealing with this really serious subject matter.
It's not just entertainment.
Right.
It's real life.
And in this case, a kidnapping. That's inherently dramatic.
It's a traumatic event.
Yeah, and it makes you think about vulnerability and resilience and the impact of these events.
But the ripple effects on individuals and communities.
Documentaries like this can be really important records.
Yeah, they document history. They give us insight.
They give us a perspective that we might not get otherwise.
Yeah.
Okay, and finally,
we
should touch on the opening film.
The one that kicked it all off.
Yeah, that was Tom Tykwer's German drama, The Light. Which seems like it set this kind of contemplative mood.
Yeah, the opening film can often set the tone for the whole festival.
Right, like hint at the themes.
Yeah, maybe what we can expect.
Yeah.
So a contemplative drama suggests focus on character.
Yeah.
A more introspective style. Maybe less action, more emotion.
And during that opening ceremony, they honored Tilda Swinton.
Oh, wow.
With the honorary Golden Bear.
That's huge for lifetime achievement.
Yeah, for her incredible contributions to cinema.
Yeah, I mean, she's a legend.
So why do you think it's important to recognize those lifetime achievements?
Well, it's a chance to reflect.
Okay.
Not just on individual films, but on an entire career.
Yeah.
The impact they've had.
Yeah.
Their artistic vision.
And with Tilda Swinton, she's done so much diverse work.
She's not afraid to take risks.
Right. Always pushing boundaries.
Which aligns perfectly with the Berlinale.
Yeah, it's like a perfect fit.
Yeah.
So it's a way for the industry and audiences to appreciate their whole career.
Their legacy.
Yeah, not just like one performance.
Exactly.
Okay. So to sum it all up, this year's Berlinale really showcased a wide range of films.
Yeah, diverse and thought-provoking.
Yeah, we saw established filmmakers
Yeah.
alongside newcomers.
New voices.
And a lot of innovation.
Experimentation.
Pushing boundaries.
Pushing the form forward.
So the winners and the films that got attention, they really show us that global cinema is grappling with, these complex issues, exploring human relationships.
In all their messiness.
And always experimenting.
Yeah, always trying new things.
So hopefully this deep dive has given you a good overview.
A good sense.
Of what this festival was all about.
The key moments.
Yeah, the films that made an impact.
Yeah.
And it makes you think.
It does.
What do these awards tell us?
Yeah.
About the future of film?
What's next?
Yeah, what trends are we seeing?
Yeah. Where is it all heading?
And out of all the films we talked about today, which ones sparked your curiosity?
Yeah.
Which ones do you want to learn more about?
Yeah. What are you going to watch tonight?
Yeah.
It's exciting to see so much creativity out there.
It is.
There's so much to explore.